And we are going. What is going on with everybody? It is your boy, Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you real raw rugged. And I am 100% sure this is my first time ever saying that I have a former classmate that I'm interviewing. I don't think I've ever interviewed anybody that was a former classmate. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Who is my classmate on the other line?
Hello, this is Sailorr from Florida's finest, from Duval. Um, it is an honor to come on this show with you, Eric. This feels so good to see you again.
This is weird because like usually when I interview somebody, I don't know them or like I've never met them. So this is weird interviewing somebody that I met when I was like 11 years old. So it's so weird. How's it? How have you been?
Good. I mean, I just moved out to LA, just been finishing up the album and everything. So this is my first time like being away from home for so long. You know what I mean? I like have never moved out of Florida. So it's an experience in itself. But it's
And
good.
being in Jacksonville specifically, I feel like is a very from like when I've like moved around, it's nothing like Jacksonville. It's like a very unique place. Their people are very unique. People in other cities don't act like that. So has it taken like a minute to get adjusted to dealing with non-Jacksonville people on a daily basis?
I feel like I was very lucky and blessed to quickly find my community here. And I know that it is hard. I feel like everybody who moves to LA first, like their first year is always very difficult. But I feel like before I moved, I had like a good basis for like who I just see every day already. So it's been really nice. Of course, I really miss home a lot. Like I miss my family, but honestly, like Jacksonville is just a place that will always stay in my heart. So like I can always come back.
No, for sure. What is one thing about Jacksonville that you say you miss, just like about the environment that you can't get in another place?
Probably honestly the beach and like also the food. I miss the food so much. I feel like it's just different and hold on, sorry. Um I miss yeah, the thing I miss most about Jacksonville is just the beach and like all the trails and stuff. And I enjoy that it feels like a big city, but it's really small actually. Like infrastructure wise, like we're all spread out. So like I just miss being able to get on the highway and like hit 80 if I wanted to. Like yeah, just like
What,
very simple things I just miss about Jacksonville. I miss the seafood, like yeah.
so if somebody's watching this, they're like, I'm so much of a Sailor stan, whatever she says goes, and they say, I'm gonna go to Jacksonville and I'm gonna try a random restaurant that's only in Jacksonville. Where should they go?
They should go to the Big Crab.
What should they order? What do you order?
I love crawfish. So honestly, all I do is get like 3 pounds of crawfish, extra spicy, and I just go in on it.
Spoken like a true Jacksonville woman. Jacksonville women love seafood for whatever reason. It's like seafood is life for Jacksonville women. I am not a seafood advocate. I'm not against it. It's just you have to eat so much to get full. And I am like a greedy, I'm a greedy like fatso. And I need a
Exactly.
bunch of food. So I can't do the seafood unless I'm ordering like 10 pounds of crabs. You know, it's like it's just too much. So crawfish is good though. I do like crawfish. Crawfish
I
is good.
really love crawfish. And also, I'm trying to think of like the other spots that I usually hit. Surprisingly. Also, no shade. Sahara, you know that little hookah bar off Beach Boulevard?
I've just never been to Sahara. Is that a hookah bar?
It's a hookah bar, but they have fire ass chicken shawarma there. Like honestly, the only reason why I know that is because I used to go to this studio like right next to it, and that was used to be the only thing that would be open at that hour. So I used to go over there to the bar and just order a bunch of chicken shawarma and then go back.
Got you. I've been in my bougie bag. I went to this place recently called Norikasi. It's like
Oh, I used to work there.
you used to work at Norikasi?
Yes, I used to bartend there.
Yo, Norikasi got this thing called the Drama Queen roll. Oh my gosh, that's the best sushi roll of all time. Shout out to Norikasi. I didn't know you worked there. That's funny.
Shout out Nori. I used to work at Domu. I used to work at Nori. If you ever get the opportunity to do the omakase there, like do it. It's actually really good. It's worth
Will
it.
do. Will do. Will do. Let's rewind for the people. And just like where I met you. So we went to a school called La Villa. which is a middle school, but it's a performing arts school. So to get accepted, you have to be talented at something. Not saying I was talented at anything. I just like kind of hacked my way in. But
You were. You were
what
in
was
band, right?
I was in band. That's my
Yeah.
point. I was just BS my way through band. But what was your art to get in La Villa?
So I was there for theater.
Mm.
Um, and then I did like a focus on technical theater during 7th and 8th grade, which was like basically learning the ins and outs of lighting, sound design on stage, like things like that. And then when I graduated from La Villa, that sounds so funny. When I went to high school, basically, I did like a focus on musical theater.
Got you. So going from, let's say, sixth to eighth grade when you're doing theater, did you ever have in your mind that I might be a singer one day? Was that ever in your plans at that point and through sixth to eighth grade?
I don't know. I mean, I know I really loved performing. And I think at the time, like from middle school to high school, I just always thought that I was going to go to like a conservatory or like start auditioning for acting programs afterwards. But then when senior year kind of hit, I was just like, I don't think I want to do that. So then, like, I became interested in production and like engineering, maybe like a couple years after I had graduated high school.
Do you ever get that itch to act?
Oh, absolutely. That's the plan. It's in the cards for
Gotcha.
sure.
I was gonna say, are you gonna use this fame to like start getting like acting deals and stuff? I mean, that's smart. I'm not gonna lie. That's smart if you're gonna do that.
I'm definitely trying to get in my directing bag for sure. Like
So more of directing versus acting.
both,
Oh,
definitely. Like I would love to get the opportunity to direct my own TV show or even a play. Like that would be so fire.
got you. Yeah, it's interesting because like I thought that's what I was like. Wasn't her art acting? So I was like, I know she sung, but I was like, I thought she was gonna be the next big thing in Hollywood or something. So it's interesting to see that you're the next big thing in the music industry. And it's funny because when you first went viral with your
Cookie's
song
record.
with the
Hmm.
Pookie record, I think Terrian was the one who sent it to me first. Was like, she's going viral on Twitter. And I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's really cool. Because before we get into that, you have a song that has never came out that I thought was so unique sounding, and it was just a snippet posted on Instagram. And the best way I could describe it is, I think you were like singing live, and you were singing over like live instrumentation, or somebody was making the beat live. And I think the person was wreaking havoc, if I'm not mistaken. And you were singing like y'all were like playing it live, and I was like, this sounds. He was right. It was like a hip hop beat you were singing over or something. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I remember thinking for the longest, I need that song to drop.
Oh man, I used to literally, that was like my bag before I really started getting into like analog synths and stuff. Like it was really Andres Ian and fucking Logan LDB who like opened me up into the world of sampling and was like, yo, like this is the world of an SP404. Like and like that's I think what my bag was before. Like I was like, yeah, knowledge beats. Like that's my shit. I'm on some Dilla shit. But I would be singing over that shit. So I do know what you're talking about.
Got you. Hey, leak that to me. Fuck everybody else. Leak that song to me. That song is so hard. So it's
Thank
so
you.
because you're very versatile because you have something like that, and then you also have something like Weathered, which is different from like Pookie. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people that say Weathered is their. I know like 5 people that have told me that Weathered is like one of their favorite songs from you. And then you have something like Cut Up, which personally that's like my favorite song right now. That song
Thank
has like
you.
been on repeat. I love the I don't know if that's like a sample in the background, but the kind of inside Wrestle Beach. That's such a fire song. Real
Thank you.
bad though.
Thank
All
you.
of these photos. Such a fire song. And so yes, I'm getting ahead of myself. I love that song so much. Pookie. We're at Pookie. Um, when you made that, did you have any what's the word? Did you have any like assumption that like this might be the one, or was it just another song you were making that you liked?
It was just another song out of the series of songs that we had made over the past couple years. So like the main people I collaborate with are Adam Krevlin and Zach Ezzy. Those are my boys. And we spent maybe like a year and a half just like going fucking ham. Like we didn't care what we were making. We didn't care to like define the sound or anything. We just like pretty much made whatever we felt like that day for a whole like year and a half. And then like Pookie's was something that we made maybe towards the tail end of like that period of time. And when I put it out, I was like, okay, yeah, like I really love the writing on this and I think that people could relate to this, but I genuinely didn't realize that like it was going to reach that level of virality, I guess.
And
So
I wanna set the record straight because I've been obviously following you for a long time. I feel there's a lot of people like, where did she come from? Girl's an industry plant. This girl came out of nowhere. This girl dropped one song. You've been making music for a very long time,
I
like for a
was.
very, very long time. And I feel like, have you seen that? And like, does that make you like knowing that like I've been around for a long time? This is just your first time hearing that. Does that make you feel some type of way?
I think it's cool. I think it's funny that like because I feel like whenever anybody calls anybody a plant, it's like, oh, they must be that good then, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of take it as a compliment. I'm like, okay, you think I'm a plant? That's sick. And also I kind of just like don't want people to hear any of my old music. So I'm like, it's okay, we can move on. Yeah, I started with Pookies. It's cool.
Do you it's like, for example, I'm not a big fan of my voice. When I hear my voice like in middle school, it sounds just annoying. I hate the way my voice sounds. Is it just one of those things where it's like this is the old me, or is it like technical stuff where it's like, oh, I could have mixed this better, I could have sung this better? What about your old music kind of, I guess, like cringes you a little bit?
I feel like it's just like a different part of my life. Even like Pookie's Requiem, like I sometimes like when I mean I love that song of course, like the production and everything, but like the writing itself, like every single phase that I went through in my life, like you can just hear it in the music. So I feel like whenever I go back, it's like almost like a personal journal to be like, oh, like, that's crazy. I remember what was going on during that time. So I think it's, of course, like the quality of the music got better over time and the quality of my writing did grow a lot. But I don't know. I just like, if you know, you know, like if you know the old music, great, like awesome. You've been here since the jump. But I'm also just like, hey, there's all this cool stuff that like I've spent so much time and energy to make and like to progress from. So I'm like, let's listen to this. So yeah.
So like on Apple Music or any streaming, you have about like five-ish songs that people could like hear you from, like of songs that you've been working on. So for people
Mhm.
that's only heard that, how would you describe, or people that haven't heard any of that, how would you describe your sound to somebody who's fairly new to you?
I guess I would call it, I want to say it's eclectic
Mm.
because I feel like it is my music is an amalgamation of like a lot of things because I listen to a lot of different music. And like me as a person, I'm just into a lot of different things. So I like to say it's like an eclectic R&B, like if you got to put a genre on it. Or yeah, all R&B pretty much. That's how I would describe it because my basis for like my love for music started from neo soul and hip hop. So like I think that the sound will always gear there, but at the same time, like in terms of the production, in terms of like the vocal production, even like we go all over the place.
That's interesting because I seen your Pitchfork video where you were saying your perfect album was an Outcast album, and it's interesting because like on that album, like Andre is doing a lot of weird kind of out there things that kind of, people either didn't like or they loved. It's like no in between or whatnot. When as you continue to grow, do you like see yourself experimenting with different sounds? Because you already, like I said, Weather doesn't sound anything like Pookie. So, like, are you trying to continue to grow to experiment with different sounds that possibly could not lose people, but divide people? Like, oh, this is much different than Pookie.
I mean, I'll never go too left I mean, honestly, like I do just make music for myself. Like whenever I'm just in the studio, like I'm going to make whatever I want. But in terms of like how I tell my story to the world and share that music with them, I think that it will make sense with each other because like that's just who I am as a person. Like I'm not just one note. It's definitely just a combination of like where I grew up, who I hang around, and like who I am as a person. Like I think that yeah, I love I love Andre 3000's ability to genre bend, and I think that's like the main reason why I fucked with his music so hard growing up. And hopefully, I will become skilled enough to like translate that in a very cohesive way.
Yeah. Who's your favorite genre bending artist ever?
Definitely him. I mean, right now, like currently, modern wise, I would say Tizo's up there.
Mm.
Um, who else? I would even say Fouché. Fouché is amazing. Um, More classically, I would say like even Erica Badu is up there. Like she can do whatever she wants. So yeah.
That's like my favorite artist ever. I love Erica Badu. She's the best. Is that somebody, or not even somebody, but like because like you've been getting attention from like everybody. It's funny, like every famous person I follow has like reposted you. And I'm like, this is crazy. this
Oh,
is
it is wild. It is
this
wild. I'm
is
not gonna lie.
wild. Has there been a person that you've either connected with or reposted you that like took you back the most? Like, wow, like this person like knows that I make music. That's crazy.
Doechii, for
Mm,
sure. I respect Doechii so much. He's another genre bending artist that I genuinely look up to. And who's another? Queen Latifah randomly followed me. I was like, "Hey,
really?
what's up?" Like, how do you know me? Like, so it's definitely always very jarring because how quickly everything happened. I think that sometimes like I do have to like put my feet to the ground and be like, "Whoa, like this is real life. Like this is really happening."
It's funny because as I was saying, you've been making music for forever, but when you release that song in that video, it did happen really fast, right? After the release, did that happen quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. Within that month, like everything just started going up, and then it was just a lot of new eyes on me who've never heard about me, don't know who I am. So like of course there's a lot of misconception too because it's like you don't know who I am, so there's a lot of like assumptions being made. And I feel like that's okay. Like definitely people perceiving me, that's like a whole thing in itself. But I was just taken aback also at the fact that so many people connected to the song. Cuz I
Yeah.
was like this is a song that I made like so personally for myself. So when I shared it with people and so many people connected with it, I just thought it was so beautiful.
So it's funny because I know a lot of people have a thing where it's like, I kind of don't like being perceived. And that's for like people that like being perceived by like two people when they walk outside. And it's not really anybody. You're being perceived by however many 100,000 followers that you have. Is that something that gets to you, or you've accepted and like become fine with that?
I try not to think about it too much, honestly. I feel like it is so cool to me, honestly, because it has opened up such a like when people garner that sort of audience, like you can really make some sort of sense of community with that. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. Like I'm going to learn and grow more into myself and know how to like because music is also a very universal language. Like I feel like music and food are two very universal things, and you can like speak across all language barriers with those two things. So I feel like I want to find a way to connect more people with that. That's why I do all of that.
For sure. Before we close out, something that I also think it can be universal is film. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you can watch film, not understand what they're saying, but the way they're emoting, you're like, man, they hate each other. You can just watch, you can just feel that, you know? So we were talking about like how certain people influence you musically. Um, I don't even know if film inspires your music at all, but just if it does, or just generally speaking, what films you think like have like impacted you the most, like that really left an impact on you?
That's a good question. I'll just speak generally of like directors that I really fuck with. Like I love Wong Kar-wai, and the reason why is because I feel like his editing and the coloring in all his films just evoke such like a sense of nostalgia for me. And yeah, I love his films. In the Mood for Love is really good. Who else? Darren Aronofsky. Did I say that right? Of course. Requiem for a Dream. And what else? I'm trying to think of other films that I really love. I mean, Poor Things was really good that I just saw recently. Of course, The Substance, Honora. I guess like overall films that like really drive it home for me. Randomly, Okja. If you've ever
Mm,
seen Yeah.
I've never
That
seen
shit
that.
is so sad.
Really?
Yeah. It's
What is it?
basically it's about like it's a manufactured no, it's not a manufactured animal, but like it's a sci-fi sort of film, but it's about these big like cute beasts that live in like these mountains overseas, like somewhere in Asia, and basically like the food companies in America found a way to like profit off of them. So they like take like this big ass fucking like animal and like start trying to like breed it and shit. And it's just really sad. But yeah.
Okja. That's what it's called. Okja.
Yeah, OKJA.
I gotta watch that. Before we get off of this topic, I have to endorse this film. You just brought it up. One of the best films of all time, In the Mood for Love. There's not too many movies that I've seen in my life that's better than that movie. That movie is amazing.
Yeah,
Such a
it
good film.
is.
Such a good film. One of those things. It's a Korean film. If you watch that, you should watch it with subtitles. But if you don't watch it with subtitles, you will kind of get the gist of like, man, this is like a universal, just their body language, the way that they're emoting. Such a beautiful film. Couldn't endorse that film anymore. Love that film. But with the music that you're pushing right now, is Cut Up like the next single that you're kind of pushing along with this right now?
For sure. Cut Up was the last thing that I dropped. I'm about to drop another single called Down Bad at the end of the month. And then I'm pretty sure after that I'm just gonna drop the full album.
Gotcha, gotcha. I'll be remiss if I didn't bring up Summer Walker and that
Oh my
collaboration. How,
god.
how did that happen?
She's so sweet. I literally just met her at a writing session here in LA and I just asked her straight up. I was like, "Yo, I've been such a big fan of you for so long. Like, do you want to remix this song?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Damn, okay,
Simple.
cool."
And did the video.
Yeah. She was so sweet on set. She's such a trooper too. Like, I feel like she would literally, if she was an actor, she would do all her own stunts. She was such a like. She literally came so ready for me, and she was like, "Okay," like she was with the bullshit. I was like, "Okay, this is what I got you doing," and she's like, "Perfect, let's go."
I'll end it with this. If you had to, if any feature out there, if you had to like shoot your shot to like get a feature on anybody that you really love, who would be that one person, like a current active artist that is like, this is like the number one person on my bucket list, and they're watching this right now? Who would that person be?
That's so hard. Okay, can I name like four or
You
five?
can name however many you want to.
Okay, Jim Legacy, Skywater, fucking Erica Badu. Um, I feel like that should be three. Three is good. Three. SZA.
All right, SZA, Jim Legacy, Skywater, and Erica Badu.
Yeah.
All right, that's not a bad four at all. Can you play guitar?
Can I play guitar? Not well,
All
but
right.
you know, we get things done around here.
Do you have any main instruments that you're pretty straight up? Gotcha. That's all you need.
You
That's
looking
all
at
you need. That's all you need. That's so funny. Well, yeah, I don't want to hold you for too much time. If there's any last words you have to say to the people, the floor is yours, Miss Sailorr.
I mean, Eric, I seriously appreciate you taking the time today to talk. I am so excited to like really get to catch up with you whenever I get home. It's so like you don't understand how beautiful it is to see a familiar face. Like I feel like I haven't seen anybody from home in so long. So I'm like, but I just want to thank you for listening to the music, for inviting me to come speak, and I can't wait to share the album with you once it's out. And yeah, love.
I know how it can be. It's like almost like a cognitive dissonance where you're having success, but it is nice to like see like the people from home like support you. And from
Mhm.
here, everybody from that I've been seeing has been supporting you. Like for example, one of the posters you went viral under, seeing people like, man, get her out of here, man, I'm not listening to this. But then I see somebody from like, man, I'm from Jacksonville. You don't know this girl, man. This girl been doing it for a long time, man. Y'all don't, I really know Sailorr. You know what I'm saying? They drop your government name. I really know her. So I'm like, oh, she got real deal shooters out here. So I say all that to say, everybody that I've seen, everybody that I've talked to from La Villa, I only talked to like 6'5" people or whatever. You know all of them or whatnot. Everybody has said flattering things to you, from the guys to the girls that I know. You know, so
Oh,
my best friend, only white friend that I have. I talk to him about you all the time. I went to La Villa, so yeah, it's a beautiful thing. People love you down here, so I don't ever want you to get into the point where you're like, man, like I hope, like I miss Jacksonville. Hopefully, I can get support from them. You come back down here, you might get like the heroes welcome to like put you on their shoulders. So yeah, we all
Oh,
love you down here. So I just want to let you know that before we ended this, people really do love you down here.
thank you. That's love for real. And I love y'all. And I love you, bro. I'm so fucking happy that we got to hop on today. And like I really hope that we can catch up soon.
For sure. For everybody watching, I appreciate you guys. Until next time, I say what I mean. I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play, and you guys holler at your boy.